Good afternoon, Britain. It is getting close to 1:45, but the comedian and television presenter Sir Stephen Fry, who narrated all 7 Harry Potter audiobooks, which I loved, criticised author JK Rowling, describing her as a lost cause.
Yes, he says she's been radicalised by TERFs, basically a slur to describe transgender exclusionary radical feminists, which just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Well, it all comes as JK Rowling has become a leading voice in the transgender debate, hailing, of course, the Supreme Court's landmark ruling back in April and, of course, funding further campaigns to do with it.
OK, well, we're joined by Executive Director of Sex Matters, Maya Forstater. Maya, has JK Rowling been radicalised? Is she a lost cause?
Of course not. That's utter nonsense. Thinking that men are men and women are women is not a radical view. It's just reality, and it's what most people in the country think. What she's done is stood up for women's rights.
Has there not been a progression in, at the very least, how JK Rowling has come about talking about this issue? I mean, back in 2020, JK Rowling sent a tweet saying, "I respect every trans person's right to live by any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them." And yet, this year, we see JK Rowling refusing to use the pronouns that trans people would like them to use, quote tweeting lots of different trans women and calling them men. I mean, it seems at the very least the tone that she uses has shifted considerably in the last 5 years.
I mean, you're doing a bait and switch there. She said that she respects people's right to live in any way that they feel comfortable. But what you're talking about is whether she has to call them by whatever pronouns they want to. Those are two different things. If somebody wants to call themselves something, you know, as JK Rowling tweeted in 2019 after my case, wear what you like, call yourself what you like. But that doesn't mean other people have to call you that. Other people can use the words that make sense to them.
Right, but in 2019, in 2020, we didn't see instances of JK Rowling putting out messages to her millions of followers, calling trans women men, or being quite so, well, frankly, in my view, rude doing it. And yet now we do. She's become much more brazen, much more brash, whether you agree with her or not. I mean, you might think hurrah for her for being much more brash at this moment in time. But clearly there's been a progression there.
Yes, I think there has. And I mean, you say rude, I say honest. And what we've seen is that giving away language, calling men women, calling men she, is what then allows them to say that they have the right to be in women's sports, in women's spaces, in women's prisons and women's refuges. And in order to say no to them, it's a simple word, we need to be able to call them men. And if somebody says that's rude, then that's a precursor for rolling over women's rights.
Yeah, I mean, Maya, it's quite extraordinary that a man who narrated all 7 of her Harry Potter books for audio, presumably made quite a lot of cash out of it, is saying such things about her. She seemed to wake up or kick a hornet's nest of transphobia, which has been entirely destructive. I disagree profoundly with her. I'm angry she does not disavow some of the more revolting and truly horrible, destructive, violently destructive things that people say. She does not attack those at all. I mean, if you add that to all the other people who have made money off her talent and success, I mean, there's a lot of people, aren't there?
Yes, and meanwhile, all she's done is be brave and speak up for women. I mean, the idea that she said anything violently destructive is just a nonsense. She has made fun of people. She has.
Some might say mocked vulnerable people.
Well, she tweeted when the Scottish government was bringing in its hate crimes legislation, and women in Scotland were afraid of being arrested for saying that men are men. And JK Rowling said, "Come and get me," basically. And that protected lots and lots of women in Scotland. She's not just out there on Twitter being a troll or being mean for the sake of it. What she's doing is saying that we're allowed to say that men are men. We're allowed to believe our own eyes. We're allowed to be funny sometimes. Women are allowed to be funny.
OK, Maya Forstater, thank you very much for your time. Executive Director of Sex Matters.